Welcome to this week's 52 Circles, and our prompt this week is the word enclose. So I've got my base layer of calico and some strips of fabric, which I've chosen to be kind of different shades of blue and then an accent colour of fuchsia pink, which is just some sari silk. So I'm starting by marking out a circle in the centre of my fabric, and then I'm going to make that circle in the sari silk because I want to enclose that colour with the strips of fabric, and I'm going to use a technique called log cabin patchwork. So you lay your strip right sides together, and then I'm just going to do a line of straight stitch on the machine to hold that edge in place. And with each line I'm folding the fabric back, so I'm making a seam each time and then adding another strip of fabric to work my way around that initial circle that I've marked with the friction pen. So even if there were bits of that still showing, when I finish I can iron it and it will disappear. So I'm just working with small kind of just scrap strips of fabric around that circle, enclosing that shape. And obviously you can play around with your colour combinations or different shades of the same colour so that you build up an overall kind of effect. It would work really well if you had kind of different gradations of colour going from one tone to another. So each time I'm adding a strip, making sure that I've got it the right way. It's difficult to, sometimes you get a bit confused and end up putting the strip the wrong way round, but you always want it so that you can sew along the right hand edge and fold it back so that you get that ever kind of increasing concentric circle. So you can see I'm just adding more and more strips, gradually changing the tone of blue that I'm working with to create a different visual effect until I've covered the whole circle. And then I'm going to take my scissors and just cut around the edge so that I've got my base circle as a template on the back there. And then I can review the overall effect of those different log cabin strips. So that's covered pretty neatly. I'm just going to add one more layer around the outside of a darker blue just to encase it even more. And then I can never resist adding some stitching, so I'm just using some stitches in that hot fuchsia pink colour just to partly hold the layers down, but also to just add excuse me, some decorative interest. So here's my finished sample, and I look forward to seeing yours. Have a good week.